video also. I know, same outfit. I'm too lazy to change. Who knows, whatever, who cares. I want to make this video, it's probably gonna be a short video anyway, the differences between borderline personality and the differences between bipolar, because like I've said little things about that. I personally was misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder. Sometimes I still say I have both because I don't really know. You never know. Like my doctor, he just treats me based on my symptoms, but I know, we do know that I do have borderline personality disorder for sure. Some sort of probably other mood disorder, who knows. But anyway, I want to discuss some of the differences that I know at the top of my head, because I don't know, maybe it could help you out. Maybe it could help you if you out there have been told that you have this and you don't feel like your medicine's working, or you don't feel like it's the quite right diagnosis, because they do have a lot of similarities but differences at the same time. So number one, we have mood swings. Bipolar disorder, there's you have mania, like mania where you're very hyper for weeks, could be weeks, at least a week, where you're staying up, you're doing all these crazy things, you're shopping, you're having sex, you're making very risky decisions, and then you can get in these depressive moods for weeks where you're constantly sleeping, you're constantly sad. Okay, so that's kind of what bipolar is. There's lots of different specifications of bipolar disorder, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know that is a characteristic, but maybe not for all of them. I don't know. I'm just talking mainstream borderline or mainstream bipolar disorder. So borderline personality, BPD, we have similar traits to that, except our mood swings could last 30 minutes, could last an hour. Very frequent mood swings. So instead of us staying up for days and weeks and doing all these same things, but constant on the same mood, our moods are constantly changing. And yes, we can get in high moods and spinning sprees, all the same things I talked about, irrational things, being, how do I even word it? I don't know. Basically very, very similar in those traits, except borderline personalities like this, and bipolar like lasts periodically, mood swings, but not change like that. So that's number one for similarities / differences. For that, I said like they both risky behaviors. That same, but the main difference is like the period of your mood swings. So another thing is when you have bipolar disorder, you have a break. You could have a break in between those highs and lows and not be impulsive and be irrational and have super high moods of anger. With borderline personality, there's never a break. It's very frustrating. Like I say, it hurts. It hurts. I always say that. It's very hard to live like this, and it's just how it is. Like there's ways, there's lots of ways to be treated, but I know people say borderline personality, you can be completely treated. It just goes on with age. But at the same time, at this point, I feel like this is going to somewhat be my struggle for the rest of my life. And I feel like that with any disorder, it can get better, but you're always going to be struggling. I know that's probably very negative of me to say, but yeah, that's another. Some symptoms of BPD are like bad self-image, fear of abandonment, extreme anger, self-harm, uncontrollable mood swings, things like that. So if you can relate to any of those things, those are more common of somebody with borderline personality. Another thing with borderline personality disorder is we dissociate, we feel out of touch with reality. And I know I struggle with that a lot, especially when I have an episode or I'm very, very anxious or I'm going through a very difficult time. So that's another thing to consider if you're trying to figure out which one you can see yourself in more if you've been misdiagnosed. Another thing would be identifying your triggers, because if you're bipolar per se, you might not even have any triggers because doctors, researchers aren't really able to identify where it's coming from. But with borderline personality disorder, we have a lot of triggers, and there's research that shows that they think maybe like if you experience trauma or sexual abuse or something like that, or abandonment in your childhood, that could be a reason that you have it, and you have a lot of triggers. And but you also it can be hereditary, but at the same time there's more triggers when it comes to BPD. Another thing with BPD is relationships and unstable relationships, and how it affects your interactions with people on the daily. With bipolar, it doesn't necessarily do that. Yes, being depressed or very high mania can affect, maybe like cause fights or something because you're sleeping too much or spending too much money or whatever with people. But like with BPD, I get very offended easily. I get triggered very easily. It affects my day-to-day life. It's very difficult for me to keep a job. It's very difficult for me to communicate with people. So I guess that's another thing when it comes to that. But like I said, there's different types of bipolar disorders, so that's just a little bit of that. A little bit of things about borderline personality disorder and my own struggles. So I hope that helps. You can research it yourself, but finding out if you've been misdiagnosed is very important. It's very important to know what you have and know how to help yourself. I feel like understanding what you have is a very important part of recovery, because you can understand yourself better and kind of research it and feel like you can relate to people and not necessarily want to give up. I mean, sometimes I still want to give up, don't get me wrong, but knowing that there's other people out there, because like I feel so crazy and so alone and so psycho, and sometimes I hate to admit how I feel out loud, like my dissociation and stuff like that. I hate to admit that, like I feel like crazy. And but yeah, so hopefully that helps people with maybe figuring out if you've been misdiagnosed or what you relate to more on. Like I said, discuss it with your doctor. If you think what you have, tell them more of your symptoms or how you feel. So anyway, stay strong, never give up, and leave your suggestions down below what you'd like for me to discuss on the next video. Peace out.